Welcome to Marvel Rivals. Today, we're diving into the world of heroes and focusing on one of the most elusive and powerful members of the Fantastic Four, Invisible Woman. Meet Dr. Susan Storm Richards, also known as the Invisible Woman. With her mastery of invisibility and force fields, she is a formidable strategist hero in Marvel Rivals. The Invisible Woman is able to slip in and out of sight without a trace. No matter how intense the battle may be, Susan Richards always keeps her cool, conjuring up impenetrable force fields to protect herself and her team. Let's delve into abilities. In Marvel Rivals, Invisible Woman's primary fire ability is called Orb Projection. This ability allows her to quickly shoot small energy spheres that deal damage to enemies and heal allies. These orbs have piercing properties and will affect all heroes within range. This attack is not affected by damage fall-off. Orb Projection: launch a force field that can pierce heroes, flying to maximum distance before returning to Invisible Woman, damaging enemies and healing teammates. This ability deals 20 damage per hit and heals 40 per hit. It has a fire rate of 0.5 seconds per hit, a maximum distance of 30 meters, and a projectile speed of 120 meters per second. Invisible Woman's ultimate ability is called Invisible Boundary. This ability allows her to create a large force field that renders all allies inside invisible to enemies. While inside the force field, allies gain 165 healing per second. Enemies that pass through the field are slowed by 55% and become invisible to their own teammates outside the force field. Invisible Boundary: manifest an unseen force field within a chosen area, rendering allies inside undetectable by enemies and providing healing over time. Enemies that pass through the field are slowed. This ability has a duration of 8 seconds for the force field and 1 second for the enemy slow down. The range is 10 meters in radius and 40 meters in height, with an energy cost of 4,000. Psionic Vortex: this ability allows her to gather psionic energy and cast it, creating an energy field that pulls enemies in while dealing continuous damage and slowing them. Psionic Vortex: gather psionic energy and cast it. Upon hitting a target, seen, or pressing the button again, it erupts into a psionic vortex, continuously drawing in enemies and causing damage. This ability deals 35 damage per second and lasts for 4 seconds. The cooldown for this ability is 12 seconds, and it has a range of 5 meters. The projectile speed is 80 meters per second, and the slow rate is 50% at the center and 0% at the edge. Force Physics: this ability allows her to manipulate psionic energy to push or pull enemies in front of her, dealing damage in the process. Force Physics: manipulate psionic energy to push or pull enemies. This ability deals 55 damage and has a cooldown of 8 seconds. The range is 1.5 meters in radius, 30 meters in length for the cast, 12 meters for the push, and 7 meters for the pull. Once activated, the player can press different inputs to push enemies away or pull them in. Agile Strike: this ability allows her to release a 3-hit combo, with the third attack launching enemies in front of her into the air. Agile Strike: execute a swift 3-hit combo. The first 2 hits deal moderate damage, while the third hit launches enemies into the air, making them vulnerable to follow-up attacks. This ability has a cooldown of 8 seconds and a range of 2 meters. Invisible Woman has an ability called Veiled Step. This ability allows her to generate a force field at her feet, propelling her into an invisible state. Veiled Step: generate a force field at your feet. Stepping on it propels you into the invisible state. This ability has a cooldown of 6 seconds. Guardian Shield: this ability allows her to create a medium-sized energy barrier directly in front of a selected ally. The shield can block damage and provide healing over time to nearby allies. Enemies that pass through the shield are slowed by 30%. Guardian Shield: generate a force field in front of a selected ally. The shield has 300 health and provides 50 health per second to nearby allies. It has infinite duration until destroyed or reclaimed. If reclaimed, the shield's health will quickly replenish if previously damaged. Allies standing behind the shield count as if they're out of the opponent's line of sight, meaning that tracking abilities will not target them. Invisible Woman has a passive ability called Covert Advance. This ability automatically turns her invisible if she hasn't attacked or taken damage for 5.5 seconds. While invisible, she gains 20 health per second and becomes immune to auto-target abilities. In Marvel Rivals, Invisible Woman has a team-up ability called Fantastic Force. This ability allows her to channel psionic might to fortify the entire Fantastic Four team. This formidable force bolsters Mr. Fantastic, granting him damage resistance. Once activated, they can continually generate bonus health, making up for lost health with each passing moment. Teaming up with Mr. Fantastic also gives Invisible Woman a 15% healing boost.
Together.
Even when you can't see me, I'll still make you believe. Invisible Woman Prestige.
Psionic Surge! Time! The mission area is yours to capture now. Psionic Surge! Clearly you needed some help. Made of glass. That's much better. Psionic Burst! Mission area is yours!
Cosmic Rays transformed Susan Storm on a cellular level, endowing her with the power to generate impenetrable force fields and become invisible in an instant. Despite her frequent lack of visibility, it has always been perfectly clear that Sue is the force holding her family, the Fantastic Four, together.
Looks like the mission area is yours.
By the eye of Agamotto!
I got you covered. Feeling fantastic. Powering up. The mission area is yours. I am ready to put on a show. I got you covered.
Berserker!
Psionic Burst. Luna. Control seized. Fury's almost gone. Much better. Clear the way. I'll get you next time. Clear the way.
Join Invisible Woman in Marvel Rivals. Master her abilities, strategize with your team, and dominate the arena with the power of invisibility and force fields.